morning, but this is Dinner with Tuck. We're having hot dogs tonight. So, and I want to talk about the the rising homelessness, but I want to get at least one of my dogs down before I get into some of the stats and some of the stuff that I've been looking at today. Mm. One thing though, I've been doing a lot of research because I've been trying to figure out how do I um kind of like streamline, make my content production easier so that I can take the extra time from there and put it towards more back office stuff, things that are going to be there to kind of help me. What's the word? Kind of help me make more money. What's up, Kung Fu? Okay, so when I'm doing it in the vertical feed, it's nice. And by the way, here's Frail Farm Girl. So in the vertical feed, I'm like for every 1,000 views, I might make like 10 cents. Whereas, if I do it this way, every time that you're served an ad when you come into the live stream, I'm actually getting paid for it. So that's something new. So what's up, Rails? Nice to see you, buddy. Mm. 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 And these aren't turkey hot dogs either, or chicken hot dogs, or pork hot dogs. These are all beef hot dogs, because she can't have pork. And since she can't have pork, the one cool thing about not having pork is it means that I have to get the higher end stuff. I love the beef hot dogs. So let's see who else is here. Sorry guys. Okay, so we got Kung Fu. Oh, so Kung Fu says hi. Okay, so all right. So I was looking through it because no, it's not. Well, today is going to be the last warm day. It's going to be 45 tomorrow. And then for the next like 3 or 4 days, it's going to be barely above freezing, maybe 1 or 2 degrees. It's not going to be that good. It's going to really suck. So I was I started going through and looking at articles, and it looks like they kind of regurgitated that 18% article, like, oh yes, homelessness rose by 18%. And I went through and I read the article. It was like, but this article was written last year, and it's almost like the same article. And so, but it looks like they did add a couple more things to it for this year. And so in 2023, homelessness went up by 12%. HUD blamed it on rent. Over the last 4 years, that's the Biden administration. Over the last 4 years, we have increased homelessness by 33%. What does that mean? That means we are now sitting at about 1.5% or so of our total population that is homeless. It's been typically about 1%. Okay, so about 3.5 million. But see, the thing is, they don't. There's a lot of people that they can't count. There's a big debate because the government numbers is about 1 million people, but people think that the true numbers is somewhere around 3 to 4 million people. And this was 20 years ago. Okay, so it's generally been about 1% of the population has generally been homeless. So now that we're going above that 1%, that's extremely high. Okay, now vets homelessness, especially unsheltered vets, has dropped by 12%. Just in 2024, but that doesn't mean anything. That's just a number. If it went up by 50% last year, but this year it went down by 12%, did it really actually have a gain or a loss? Okay, so there's an article here out of Maricopa County. It says that Maricopa County breaks record for evictions. So I went and I did the math. Okay, so there are 87,000 evictions that they had in 2024. Okay, the total county of Maricopa had 4.585 million people. So that means roughly 3% of the population was evicted, and maybe 1 or 2%, or excuse me, about let's just say about half of them may have been able to be rehoused because it was they were getting evicted for one reason or another. But 87,000 people in just Maricopa County alone. Now there's other counties where they're starting to pull numbers like this, but I think that this coming year we're gonna see homelessness rise even bigger than what it originally was. So I'm just curious, what do you guys think about this? This is something that is just baffling when it comes to the numbers. I mean, how can we get to this point? Is it just rent? Is it more than rent? Is this an economics issue? We're finding out that they were lying to us about a recession for so long, and that they've been lying to us about economic data. I think they've been cooking the numbers by like 800,000 for every statistic, and they were making it look like they were having gains and no losses and anything like that. You know, and that's the thing um the way that uh, uh, um, this whole homelessness thing is going is that nobody really knows where it's coming from. There's so many different things that are going wrong. This is a lot of this can be directly attributed just to the Biden administration alone. Now he's giving lip service saying, I want to give all this money and we want to give all these resources to the homeless and we want to help the homeless. But who are they really helping? I'll actually show you who they're really helping. It's the Alliance to End Homelessness. Okay. So as I was looking up some homeless stuff, I was looking at I came across this advertisement. So the Alliance to End Homelessness, if you guys remember when I was in what was it? If I was in Washington D.C., I was there to meet Ayana, who was actually going to a seminar because she got a she got a scholarship to go. She didn't actually have to pay, and she went to the one in Washington D.C. this June, this last June, if you guys remember. That's kind of how I got up there on the AT and all the other stuff that was going on. And you guys heard me talk about how that just kind of seemed a little shady. So I got to see one of their advertising flyers now that I know who they are and they're kind of on my radar. Sorry guys, that's Sam. She's barking at cows. So the standard rate to go in there is $885. Plus you got a consumer rate of $115. If you show up that day and you want to get in, it's $985. So what is it that you get for that $1,000? Okay. The thing is you're getting private networking opportunities. Think about it. This is kind of how the Bilderberg group markets themselves.
Weren't they also that one video talking about that they're using also that money for seed money to buy to build luxury apartments, and that they're just taking the fines for it?
No,
Oh,
that
okay.
was that's I don't know if that's the Alliance to End Homelessness. I
Okay.
don't know if that's them.
There's one company, I guess, that's doing that or something.
Oh, okay. Yeah. Well, and those are out of California. Epoch Times actually broke that story a couple of years ago, where they were taking they would go into a luxury neighborhood, put it in as a low income, but no low income people could handle it. So therefore, it completely defeated the purpose. But they got all the loans, they got all the tax breaks, they got all the speedy construction and special zoning and special leniency on permits and stuff like that. And then the people who it was meant to benefit were the ones that get screwed because see. These are the people that are actually contributing to homelessness by being able to exploit the current homeless as it is.
Yeah, but they're still using the funds that were meant for the homeless.
Mm-hmm.
And yeah,
Mm-hmm.
it's just like like a shell game.
Mm-hmm. This is nothing. The homeless industrial complex in cooperation with the government, whether knowingly or unknowingly, whether unintended consequences or not, is fully aware that they're the ones that are making this whole problem worse. Because if we can get those people and get all the funding and all the propaganda around those three boxes, which is mental health, criminal, and mental health, criminal, and I forget what the third one was. My brain's just drawing a blank.
Yeah, that third one's always like hard to remember.
Yeah. Anyways, if you check the three boxes, yeah, because mental health, criminal,
Drug use.
and drug use.
Right.
Yes. So that's the three. So Nathan's hot dogs. I don't know. They're kind of I don't know.
I think they were just bar ass.
They're bar S. So
That's all I had.
yeah, we bought them at Family Dollar. Government cooking the books like always. Yeah, but the thing is it's getting to a point where this is why nobody knows what's going on. If people understood how fast homelessness is expanding, if it's expanded in 4 years, it is expanded by more than 0.5%. Total overall, then that is a complete failure. That is a quick expansion. Like that's really, really fast. When you're talking about there's 350 million Americans, to have a number tick up, that means you have to have millions of people that are going homeless. And how many of them are not being documented? How many of them are like me, sitting here on a piece of land? I'm technically homeless, but I'm not going to be in the point in time count. So therefore, I won't be part of the homeless community. Same thing with farm girls. So now that's 2 people. But so for every one person that counts, there's like 2 to 3, maybe even 4 people that don't get counted. And so, the thing is homelessness is much, much bigger than we really think it is. And I don't think that any agency or any organization has any real feel on it. It's kind of like this. When I was on the Florida Trail and I was going into the Apalachia National Forest, I ended up coming across a county worker who gave me a ride into town, who was telling me that a couple years prior, they had all the bad bears from Ocala and other parts of Florida would go in there into the Apalachia, and so they figured, okay, that'd be fine, and then they end up putting out like 300 tags, thinking, yeah, you don't count either, Rails. Yeah. So they put out 300 tags. That was expected to last a whole season, and it was filled by noon that day. They had absolutely no idea. It was actually a very scary realization for the county that managed that part of the national forest. And and this is the guy that's sitting there telling me about this. All the people living in their vehicles. But the thing is, they're now going through legislation to prevent you from living in a vehicle so that they can therefore put you in a tent. They're going to dispossess you. Those of you that are living van life, especially if you want to live in the urban van life, you're probably in one of the most... you're probably one of the most vulnerable categories at this time, next to the actual urban homeless, the street bums, okay? The guys that live on the streets and stuff like that. Hey, anybody got a Coke and a toke? It's nice to have a Coke. So, food stamps came in today. So we kind of, on food stamp day, we always treat ourselves with hot dogs, and I always like to get a Coke. So, but yeah, got me a cherry Coke. But yeah, homelessness is going to be something that is all of a sudden one day it's going to show up on the news as some big explosion. And I think a lot of it's going to be as a way to be able to detract against Donald Trump. Because as the Republicans have been beating the drum about how bad the economy is and how bad everything is, for the Democrats, the Democrats have now, and there's already stories of what they're doing as far as the transition team for the Department of Treasury and the mess that they're leaving Trump and the intentional traps that they're leaving for him as they're looting the Treasury on their way out. I mean, there are stories that are coming out about this. I don't know whether or not they are true, but I have been hearing them, and if there are people talking about it, there has to be some truth in there in order to make it believable, even if it was a lie. Brush those chompers after Coke, bro. Last thing we need is wrecked teeth. Dude, my teeth are already wrecked, Alex. Um, again, when you're homeless, you don't get adequate medical care. Invest in SodaStream now that you got storage capacity. Smarter, not harder. You know what? That might not be a bad idea there, Alfred. I wonder how much does a setup like that cost? Yeah, I stuck it in some cold water to chill it. But yeah, it was definitely good. So, oh well. I lost other things, but anyways, um, but that's just the crux of it. It's gonna, and by the time it becomes a big enough issue to where Trump is forced to enact legislation or an executive order. Well, he can't do it as an executive order. What's up, Platypus? Good morning. Um, he can't necessarily do it as an executive order because he tried to do that during his last administration. He tried to put all the homeless in the camps, and that that was shut. Excuse me. That was shut down um, by the Department of Justice, and they were the ones that said, no, you can't do that. That's a violation of their rights as Americans. And I still, it's unlawful detainment is really what it is. And they can't just detain us without due process. Yeah, same, and no one's got any idea on anything. That's why I want to bug out properly to the desert. Yeah, well, being in the desert may not be as good of a thing as we think it is. I mean, yeah, nobody's really coming out here because it's too hot. There's no water. There's no trees. There's barely any food. But if you come out to the desert, man, you better be prepared for a harsh lifestyle. You better know how to be able to find water and rocks and stuff. You better be very smart in finding water, because that's the lifeblood of living in the desert if you're gonna do something like that. Yeah, desert's empty for a reason. Most people aren't gonna be smart enough to do it. I'm not. I know I'm not. So, but it is what it is. Anyways, all right, guys. So that was pretty much what I wanted to cover in my topic today. I thought that would be something that would I don't know. I think that this is something that we need to, as a community, continue to explore. If you guys are finding stories like this, please do send them to me. Okay, so let me kind of. I will have a great artesian basin under me. Well, that's good for you there, Platypus. I don't know what we're gonna have. I think we're supposed to have some giant aquifer under us here somewhere.
Coconino aquifer.
The what?
Coconino aquifer.
The Coconino Aquifer. So if any of you guys want to look that up, I'll give you guys a better idea. I don't think I've even looked it up. But so the live stream, how it's horizontal versus vertical. So I've been doing a lot of research on, like, okay, why am I not getting paid on YouTube? Why I'm doing the live streams, and I want to be able to get some sort of ad revenue, kind of build up my my momentum so I can keep doing stuff. Tasmanian Wilderness would be a better bet over here. Wilson's Prom in Vic even. Okay. You guys know that area better than I do. But what I started doing is I started going back and looking at my stats. See, when you're in mobile, at first they only allowed you to do vertical stream. You couldn't do the horizontal stream. So I was always forced to do that. And I was getting, the reason why I wasn't seeing any ad revenue from it is because it was giving me shorts ad revenue versus the normal ad revenue you would get from, like, long form content, such as any of the other videos that you guys see me do. And now, as of recently, they've allowed us to do the horizontal, and I'm gonna try this out for a while. We're gonna see if we can build a live stream a live stream community doing it this way versus through the shorts community, because I think that was I think that was the first mistake. But two, I think that it will put less stress on me to rely on the tip jar or super chat, super thanks, and stuff like that. Now those do make a difference and they do make an impact. But I want to get to a point where I've got everything coming in, and that unless it's just somebody who's like, oh wow, I find value, and then they throw something in there. I really kind of want this to become self-sufficient. Yeah, you would need to watch How Far Offshore Wandering during fire season for sure. That's why you went coming up in live scrolling. There's low numbers here now. Yes, the reason why is because I'm going to start doing videos in this format. And so, like, one of the things I want to do was to kind of like lower my, lower the amount of time that I've got to spend to do a long form video, like whether it be the tutorials or something like that. And I can sit back and do that if I do it in the horizontal frame, and then it will still go through the normal channels. It may not show up as on my video section, but it'll show up in my live section for some reason. So I'm still kind of hemming and hawing about that, but this seems like the easy way for me to do my content, because most of it's one take anyways. Every once in a while I'll run off on a tangent, but that's what the live stream's for, so that we can have a conversation, but during this live stream, during at least the first 15 minutes of the live streams, as if they're in this format, they're going to be topic related, and then we're just going to open it up and just have regular conversations. That way I can get the I can kind of maximize my effort, because that's really the important thing here. So what is today? Today's Monday. Wow, I've done 3 live streams today. So hey, what's up? Rim Job James. There we go. What's up, Rim Job James? So I always remember Rim Job. It's the next name I always forget. So was it James, Jane, Jonathan? I can't remember. So, but anyways, what's up, Rim Job? Nice to see you, buddy. All right, so yeah, just we're gonna start doing it this way. For those of you that were not in the yeah, I know, James. I'm just messing with you, buddy. For those of you that were not in this morning's live stream, I have started. Well, I took my gaming channel, okay, and in my gaming channel, what happened? I talked about the addendum that I have to this channel. So you guys have always heard me talk about on this channel, homeless education. So I'm teaching you how to be homeless, how to survive being homeless, how I've done it, little tips and tricks that I've learned along the way, and things like that. And I've also done homeless advocacy and awareness, which is kind of what tonight was about. Okay, but I've also talked about how this won't is really the main cause of all homelessness. So what's up? Okay, but anyways, I keep talking about this. Well, this channel is so niche down that I think that if I started really going down that road, because of, if you guys really heard the depth of what I had to say, you would definitely see the wisdom that I've learned on the road over the last 25 years or so. And so I want to share that knowledge over there, but it's more like life skills or the philosophy of Tuck. It's called Your Personality HQ. Yes, but what leads a person to drugs, Matt? All right. What leads a person to drugs? People say, oh, it's the drugs. No. The drug is the coping mechanism. And anybody, I know you've been through recovery there, James. And through recovery, you one of the things I always hear from guys is you gotta you gotta you gotta face your demons. You gotta do all that other stuff. and you end up fixing a lot of your personality defects along the way. That's part of what recovery is, because it's those personality defects that led you down the path to do the drugs. It wasn't the drugs that made you homeless. It was the personality defects, and then the path along the way just happened to pick up drugs as you were going. Hey, I guess she left. So, but that's really, that's my firm understanding. Drugs aren't the reason; they're a result for some. Yes, I could see that too. Step 4 and step 5. Okay. See, I've never really had to. I was forced into it once because I spent my last dollar on a beer, and so. But the thing is it's never been my thing. I've never dealt with it after, and I've always been able to keep myself in control. What's up, Cherokee? Nice to see you, buddy. So, but that's just I really think that the mental, this right here, this is the most important part of what is going to either prevent you from becoming homeless, and if you are homeless, this might help you figure your way out, because you gotta fix these defects of entitlement, the defects of a false sense of security or a false sense of entitlement, such as, I'm an American, I deserve this, I'm not a drug addict, I deserve this, I'm not this, I'm not this, so therefore I shouldn't be here, and if and then and da 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 da. And the thing is that's what makes people homeless. This right here. Okay. So that's why I started that splinter, because we really need to have a heated discussion as a community. So if you look over in the community tab on my page, hey dear, will you bring me another Coke? I picked up drugs when I was young just
So
for
much
kicks.
for one a day, huh?
Then the drugs eventually turned. It's turned on me, and I couldn't function without him. Yes, as a Rothschild once told me, you have two choices: either you do the drug or the drug does you. Most people, the drug does them. Those are addicts. The people that can do the drugs, those are CEOs. Those are heads of organizations. Those are politicians. Those are the guys that seem to know how to function, or at least circumvent the law enough to be functional. But sales. If I've been in sales a good portion of my life, and I will tell you that in sales, drug use is very, very heavy. I think that's a big reason why I was able to turn it down and really not get into it, because I saw all the guys, and I see the guys that had been in it for years. I mean, we're talking about investment brokers and and stuff like that. And we're for lunch, we're going to a titty bar while he's doing lines, getting drunk, and all this other stuff. And everybody else is doing. All of management is doing this. This is the drugs and partying. That is the thrill of the hunt in being in sales. And yeah, I got to live and be exposed to part of that. And those guys were functional. They were going out making lots of money, still being able to pay their bills. They just happened to be in a profession or in something that would allow them to function as an addict and actually accelerate, because you're actually you're encouraged to pick up something, which is another reason why I picked up weed. So, but it's there. Drugs aren't what make you homeless, because if drugs were what make you homeless, then everybody that did drugs would be homeless, and that's just not true. Okay. Well, thank you for whoever joined over on Patreon. Welcome to the Patreon members. I was the same with drinking. I could not have copious amounts of alcohol after work. Yeah. I've had a closer scare with drinking than anything, but I also didn't realize that I was predisposed to being an alcoholic, because they were just coming out with that information as I was coming of age. And yeah, my mom was an alcoholic and my dad's a binge drinker, so which is just another form of alcoholism. And it's just yeah, I didn't realize that all I had to do was have one sip and I was going to go through 3 days of shakes like I'd been drinking for 25 years. Yeah, that was fun. But again, I've never had a problem with it since or after. I'll sit back, I'll have a drink, but for some reason that was kind of like a wake-up call of like, you better be careful. but I've still gone through. I've just been cautious about how I act in life, and I've never ran into actually having a problem. I can sit back after that moment. I was able to sit back and drink, which is kind of really weird. It still baffles me. It's a question, an unanswered question that I will have when I reach the end of this life and I get to go to the other side and ask questions. That's going to be the one question I want the answer to. Is like, after going through that shakes, I should have, the next time I touched a drop of alcohol, it should have been done for me and I shouldn't have been able to walk away. Why did it not phase me after that? Why all of a sudden did I go through it at 15, 16 years old and then never have to deal with it again for the rest of my life? Why? That is a lifelong question that I will always have. But yeah, I could have very easily been one. So I have my sympathies for him, but at the same time, I've also taken the opportunity to correct a lot of my personality defects that made me homeless, that could have led me down the path to actually becoming my worst nightmare. And so this is just something, when you're homeless, you really need to be thoughtful of. It is, what is it about you that brings disharmony to society? Is it the decisions that you make? Is it because you make them on impulse and you don't take time to really think them through? Is it because you don't see the unintended consequences? Is it because you're not really paying attention to all the different moving facets? Are you making commitments that you know full well that you can't follow through on? Those are just basic things that if you do them enough times, if that becomes part of who your personality is, because that's what I was dealing with Pebbles. A lot of elderly are being ripped into this. It just, and that is true. Most of your people on Social Security are being affected, but they're also the quickest to get off. The reason why there's the statistics for homelessness are showing that they're going down is because a lot of these housing first programs are taking people on Social Security, putting three of them in a 3-bedroom house, letting them rent from each other, and saying, "Look, we're fixing the homeless problem," while putting senior citizens in, instead of being able to live independently. Now they're being forced to live, like sardines in a tiny little 3-bedroom, 800, 900 square foot apartment. You know what I mean? It's really not that big. And, this is really what's happening to the homeless community, or to the senior community within homelessness. And we've talked about that as well. So, but those are, those are all the different things that I really wanted to cover tonight, as far as this goes. But from now on, what I'm going to be doing is I'm just going to be doing, I want to see if this works the way I want it to. I want to just start doing live streams. What's up, Bucknut? Nice to see you, buddy. I just want to be able to be doing live streams moving forward, on this channel, so that it frees me up to be able to, uh, uh, so that I can start working on the back end stuff and start working on stuff on the website, so that I can start, getting everything organized. Because, I, but I'm kind of like, in half in one and half in the other. Because the thing is if I build out this website, and then, because I have to do a profile, or a package upgrade with GoDaddy, and it's going to cost me about $260 for the year. Are you shivering? Don't make yourself miserable for our sake. No, I'm not shivering. I haven't been able to burn off a lot of energy, so this is my legs shaking. That's Farm Girl ain't even sitting in the car because she knows I'm shaking it. But I really want to do this moving forward. Luckily for our veterans, the government teaches you how to be homeless with how training survival is. Yes, but JF, I could, um, oh man, you got to go way, way back in my views. You might want to look on my interviews. The guy that talks about tactical defense. It's in my interviews playlist. He was a Marine that was on the wall at Gitmo. And yeah, no, those are the guys that party the hardest, and then walk around like their shit don't stink. He was kind of humble. That's why he didn't hang out with the veteran crowd. But even he was telling me, he's like, yeah, all these guys, they think that all of a sudden they're going back in time, and they think that they're your superior and all this other stuff, because a lot of these guys, they let it go to their heads. I mean, yes, there's a camaraderie, but But the thing is, those are also your biggest partiers, your biggest spenders, and everything else like that. Because those guys get $2,600 a month versus the $900 a month you get from Social Security. So usually two or three people on Social Security will band together with a guy that gets a military disability, and all five of them will party all month long on, like, probably about $5 grand. So, I mean, that's kind of the way it all works. So, people think that veterans are just these virtuous people out here. No, they are the worst offenders in a lot of the instances. Now, I have on the other side, I will tell you that you come across guys that were like special forces snipers. Those guys, once they come home, they don't know how to assimilate. They're not those guys. Those are the guys that are in the shadows. Those are the guys that are doing the wire stuff. They're not even really trying to collect their military disability. They're just trying to keep a low profile and survive the last few years of their life. I've met quite a few of them. Those are the guys that I have the most respect for, because they understand that yeah, when you went off and you served, it was a personal decision. It's not something that everybody else has to lick your boots for the rest of your life. And it was a personal decision. When I chose to go in the Marine Corps, it was a personal decision. I wasn't doing it for anything else. I wasn't doing it for benefits. I wasn't doing it for this or that. I was doing it because it was what I wanted to do for my country. So why is it that I get to go in there and do it, and I'm not going to look at somebody and go, "You have no right to breathe because you didn't go in," or I'm going to look at somebody and go, "Well, I deserve all these benefits because I da 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 da." No. No, it was my choice. I don't deserve any special treatment. Otherwise, I'm completely contradicting everything I said I was fighting for. Okay? And that's always been my opinion. I almost never mention anyone that I'm a vet. Yeah, because I mean, people will know. I can tell when I'm talking to Army or Marines. I can kind of tell the Navy. The Air Force is very easy to pick out. You can tell who they are. Nobody has to say it. It's like, tell me who you are without telling me who you are. Nobody has to. I mean, I don't go around telling everybody that I went in the Marine Corps, because I don't really want to have to explain the whole process of how I got my discharge. But on the same token, there are guys that watch how I conduct myself. There are guys that watch how I do things, and they'll come up to me and they'll be like, "Yeah, were you in the military?" And I'll have to explain it to them in as short as possible, that I was given a medical separation, but and no, I'm not a veteran. And so then then I get to explain all that. But for the most part, when yeah, those are the ones that I have the most respect for. But out here, you have these guys that wear it around like a badge of honor, like you're supposed to be licking their boot, like you're supposed to be subservient to them, and all that other stuff. And you get to see it in your travels long, if you travel long enough. And I know some of you guys will disagree with it. You won't like it, but it is what it is. So I thought it was your legs. Same thing. Drives my girl nuts when I do it. Yeah, JF, it's kind of funny when something like that happens, but it is what it is, right? Okay, guys. So this is we've this morning when we woke up, it was a crispy 18 degrees. Today's high was 50. Tomorrow's going to be a crispy 18 degrees with a high of 45. And then after that, it's not going to get above 37 for probably about 3 or 4 days. And then we might see an above 40 here and an above 40 there. It is about to get really, really, really cold. Like yeah. It's about to get miserably cold. So this is probably going to be one of the last couple days. Maybe tomorrow you might get to see this outside, but we're going to be inside, and we may not even make it outside of the truck until at least 1 o'clock in the afternoon. Yes, they do. It's not about the hand warmers. It's just about the fact that it's just freezing cold. So, you know what, Bucknut? No. You can keep what you have. I'm okay. I don't need it. I'm good. Thanks for the offer though. Much appreciated. So, um, yeah. Well, we are sealing it up. About the only thing, like if somebody wanted to help us out with something, what we need is like one of those little Amish heaters. So like I think like $40, and we can go get one down in St. John's, which is like 15 miles from here. Because we've got all the power sources to be able to do something like that. I just don't want to have propane inside the truck just because of the fumes and just being such close quarters. Yeah, I don't feel comfortable with that. Got adequate heat source. Yeah, there's me, there's her, there's dogs. There's survival blankets. Yeah, we're no, we've got a foam mattress underneath us. When we first got here, I scavenged a foam mattress. It was right on the edge of the property. I'm like, yoink, that's mine. She didn't like it at first, but when she realized how hard that bottom the bottom of the truck felt, she's like, okay, I will give it a try. And yeah, it's what keeps us warm at night is between that and the puffer wolves is what keeps us warm at night. Oh, come on. Okay, so need reflectors to start. Yes. Okay. Carbon monoxide poisoning. Yeah. I mean, well, it's ventilated a little bit. But again, gonna be 24 in the morning, 36 for the high, which is cold for South Louisiana. Yeah, there's that cold front that's hitting you hit us a couple days ago. Yeah, that whole windstorm that came through was pushing that cold storm through because that's when it was hitting the Rockies. So River makes some diesel heater that's vented, supposedly super efficient, made for RVs or car living. Huh? Hold on. What is that? What is that again? Um, you ever heard of Vevor? VEVOR? Okay, look them up. Cause they're made for our situation. It's a space heater.
Oh, okay.
So yeah, that all of a sudden motivated you, huh? All right, guys. So it is getting pretty cool. It's getting pretty chilly here. I will see you. Let's see. Tomorrow's Tuesday. I've got meetings tomorrow. So we will do the next morning live stream. I will do is Wednesday, and tomorrow night is the next evening live stream that I do. So I will see you tomorrow evening. Thanks for being here. If you guys want to help out the channel, become a subscriber, leave a tip in the tip jar, come on over, join one of the many memberships I have on Patreon. Thanks for being here, guys, and I will see you in the next video. Hold on, what did you say? Diesel heater is a way to go in that situation. Okay. The small Mr. Buddy would work too. Okay. Oh, you have a Mr. Buddy?
Well,
is it here?
Well, it's that one over there.
Oh, yeah, but that's propane. Okay.
No, yes, but Mr. Buddy is propane.
Oh, okay.